Hey gang, so what we're talking about here is the same time frame that we've been discussing over the last couple of lessons. Particularly, we're taking a look at here this 1870 to 1914 timeline. And what we're looking at with that, of course, is yesterday and the day before, we looked at Manifest Destiny, this idea that we have the right to expand our civilization to other countries of the world and other areas of the world. And then we also have this issue of the Spanish-American War, where America, while initially going after places like Hawaii and Japan and other islands in the Pacific, was also looking to expand into the Caribbean and into Latin America, places where Spain traditionally had colonies. So you saw us fight that war for a better part of a year, and you saw us in our closing arguments yesterday take control of Puerto Rico. Cuba with the Platt Amendment became a protectorate. You saw us take control of the Philippines as a colony where we had paid a substantial amount of money to own those people and that land. And we're going to take a look at another part of the world right now, because while America's off busy during this, 1870 to I'd say about a little bit less than 1900, when we're busy doing this part of kind of the imperialistic nature of America. Other parts of the world are also involved, and other countries of the world are still involved. And they're engaged in Asia. In particular, they're engaged in China. China then, as it is now, is quite possibly the place with the largest market available to sell goods. And you know from the tariff issues we talked about 2 lessons ago that the search for new markets is something that countries really want to get a hold of. China has those markets, and they purchase the least amount of our exports. So we're going to start to turn our attention from Latin America, from the Caribbean, Spanish possessions, islands in the Pacific that we'd already controlled. We're going to start shifting to Asia, where European countries were already involved. And I gave you some examples on this slide why other countries are already involved there, in particular because China has a weak military, and there are nations that are right near it that are trying to start to exert influence. Japan and Russia, for example, begin to try and take advantage of China and actually go to war with each other over China, something we'll talk about here in a little bit. And as Russia and other nations began to demand that China lease it land and give it special privileges, America's going to start to watch what's happening here very, very closely. And certainly, these two countries won't be the only ones at play.